for today's cup of coffee, you cannot even imagine how many times before we start that I go, "Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?"
She didn't even record. She didn't even press record last time, though.
I did press record. It just didn't. It made a noise, but it didn't actually. I got to looking for the counter, and I'm like, it's not really recording. So there's always
2 pages of nothing.
There's always something. Well, that was the time that we didn't have the microphone hooked in or turned on, one or the other. And it's like, it's cold, and so we are absolutely surrounded by cats.
It's cold, and one of us is nauseous, and it's not her.
I'm nauseous. That's okay, because I'm going to add to the nausea. Now,
oh God, is this about the exploding whales?
For this cup, now, if you have a weak stomach, a weak constitution, you may want to skip this one.
I want to hear this now so bad.
And it's one of those that those of us with a dark sense of humor can appreciate this.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because it is gross, but it's also fascinating.
Oh God.
And it's like there are videos in the links, which will be in the description box. And just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Uh-huh.
And exploding whales. Apparently it is not rare. It's not rare.
I'll save it.
This is the whole thing about, and you have small children who are from urban environments, and you have to tell them, do not poke that bloated thing with a stick.
Don't.
I have had that experience in my life.
I haven't, because, all my life I've been told don't poke it. It may be fun to poke it, but don't poke it when it's bloated.
Several children.
It's fine, but it's fine to poke if it's not bloated. If it's bloated,
this was bloated. This was bloated.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine if it's not bloated, but if it's bloated, don't touch it.
Well, that's what I had to go out there and with these children to quickly. They're like, "Oh, it's a dead." I don't remember if it was a groundhog or what it was. And they literally had a stick, and I'm like, no.
Oh my God!
Don't do that, because that.
No.
Right.
That's disgusting. No.
And at least they did listen. So.
Well, that's something.
Well, yeah. But anyhow, one of the most famous exploding whale stories comes from Florence, Oregon.
Party.
And 2020 was the 50-year anniversary of this event. And there was a website, it's Randy Cassingham's This Is True. And it's really well written. He goes into detail about it. This is where the video is included. So you can go and enjoy this.
We may or may not include a clip.
He covers the incident, and it began. It was a 45-foot long, 8-ton sperm whale, which washed up on the beach near Florence, Oregon, November the 9th of 1970. So that's a very large animal.
Uh-huh.
And report says that the beached body was a local curiosity until the stench began 3 days later, because dead things start to stink.
Yeah, because they rot.
Yeah. So the residents were no longer thrilled. They were no longer curious.
Shit.
And they insisted that authorities do something about the rotting carcass. And the task fell to the Oregon Highway Division, which he says is now the Oregon Department of Transportation.
Hear that, baby.
Because they had jurisdiction over the state's beaches. Highway engineer George Thornton brought in 20 50-pound cases of dynamite. And he placed them around the carcass with the intention of disintegrating the remains so that seagulls and whatever could then consume what was left. Now remember, this man is Department of Transportation engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he's used to blowing up rocks maybe and making roads.
Yeah.
So I think this was a little bit out of his category.
Just a little bit.
So they put the dynamite around the body. Fuses were lit and havoc ensued. And it says huge chunks of decaying whale flew into the air and then fell onto the area.
Oh my God.
And around 75 spectators had been moved a quarter of a mile away. Now, who goes out? Well, I don't know. I can see me going out and to watch them blow up a whale. I really can. I can see us doing that. But anyhow, that quarter of a mile away, and that's really not, when you've got explosions, that's not far. It's not far enough at all. And it wasn't far enough to prevent them by being affected by fallout.
No shit.
Nasty, stinking, decaying fallout. Not only that, a brand new Oldsmobile Regency 98 was wrecked by this chunk of whale. And the owner, I mean, it was a brand new car. I mean, that was state of the art. Absolutely. Now, the owner, he didn't file an insurance claim with his insurance. Oh, hell no. He filed it, the claim with the state.
Rightfully so.
Absolutely. And it says he recovered the cost of the automobile. Oh, no. They should just, for general stupid, paid him money.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that it's like, who does this? He was paid in full and purchased a new vehicle, but to add insult to injury, the majority of the whale carcass remained where it was.
No shit.
Because, like I said, they put this around it.
Rather than on top of it, too.
Or in it, or whatever. And it says a bulldozer was then brought in to bury the rest of the remains, which is what should have been done at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think they just wanted to play with dynamite.
I think they did too.
This was...
I mean, who doesn't want to play with dynamite? But, you know,
to have
exploding whale.
Especially 20, 50-pound cases of dynamite. To sit there and go, oh, hell yeah, we got extra monies. Let's buy dynamite.
It's fun to light shit on fire. It's fun to explode shit.
You know, hey, if somebody wants to get me a flamethrower for the holidays, that would be great. I've had that on my wish list.
I'll get you a can of hairspray and a lighter.
I have that already. Anyhow.
So there you go.
This was what was hilarious. It says, as to the legend of the exploding whale, it is said that engineer Thornton, this was his idea with the dynamite, refused to discuss the event, saying, quote, whenever I talk to the media, it blows up in my face, end quote.
Of course it does.
And I don't know that he ever understood what he was saying.
I don't think he did.
But now this was the man who determined to put the dynamite around
he
the
obviously
carcass.
was not that smart.
And he did die on October 27th, 2013 at the age of 84. And to my knowledge, he was buried without incident. No dynamite.
They should have blew him up in remembrance of him.
They could have buried him with a bulldozer. So 20 years after the exploding whale of Oregon incident, Dave Barry wrote an article on May 20th, 1990, which was entitled The Far Side Comes to Life in Oregon. And he had a quote-unquote pirated video from KATU News Report. And in the 90s, I'm trying to think now, they had CDs, but I think VHS was still a thing.
DVDs were just coming in.
Right.
That was towards the end of the 90s.
So I would say that it was probably VHS.
Yeah. Actually, DVDs didn't come into commonplace because DVDs in the 90s were extremely expensive.
Right. So it had to be VHS.
Yeah, it was VHS, like VHS.
And please do not pirate all those nice little comments at the beginning of the videos, which most people ignored.
Yeah.
And all you had to do to record over it was to put tape over one of the little holes.
Yeah.
It wasn't high-tech.
It wasn't.
It was not high-tech. Anyhow, after Barry's writing and the inclusion of the video, these were posted on something that was called a dial-up bulletin board system, a BBS. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
And that did, of course, predate wide public access to the internet. And then someone, of course, because shitlords have always existed, Someone altered Barry's column when it got to the internet, and the embellished version, of course, spread quickly and let the meme cannons fire, boys. This page, of course, it honestly, and the video is on this. It's a great read. And
I need to see the video.
Contains the video. I wish we could have shown it and commented on it, but that'd probably be some kind of copyright bullshit.
No, that wouldn't be copyright at all. That would be considered fair use as long as we use a clip.
If we were, so we'll have to try to figure out how to do that for
I know how to do that.
Future. Well, we're not doing it tonight, so it's for future. And I will say kudos to the reporter who was on location at this event, and that was Paul Lindman of Portland's KATU. And his coverage of this was just brilliant.
What did he say?
Oh, you have to go watch it. You have to watch the video because...
Oh, they don't quote him in the thing?
Oh, they do to a degree, but it's not the same as him saying it because he was just as deadpan as anything. I mean, I would have probably reacted like the people at the what was it, the Hindenburg? It's like, oh, the humanity of it.
The humanity.
So that was one of them. And then we have, I took snippets from Wikipedia on this, and then there is a YouTube video on this also, which is A Whale Explodes in Taiwan. And God. January 29th, 2004 in Tainan City, Taiwan. Please forgive me because, again, with trying to pronounce some of these words, just words in general some days, a carcass of a sperm whale was being moved on a flatbed truck through the middle of the town. And I actually remember when this happened. Now, the whale died after beaching on the southwestern coast, and it took 3 large cranes, 50 workers, and more than 13 hours to get this whale onto the back of a truck. Mm-hmm. Now, why were they putting the whale on the back of the truck, you may ask? Professor Wang Ching Ping had ordered the whale be moved to a wildlife reservation area after he had been refused permission to perform a necropsy instead of an autopsy. Mm-hmm. They examined the shit after it's dead.
Yes.
Don't look at me like that. And he was moving that at the National Ching Kung University in Tainan. That's the best I can do. Now, while this animal is being moved, more than 600 local residents and curiosity seekers, along with vendors selling snack foods and hot drinks,
get your hot dog!
They were lining the streets of this town while this animal's being moved, and then it explodes. So you've got 600 local residents and curiosity seekers, vendors, surrounding shops, cars, everything covered with blood and entrails.
Oh my God, because that would have been hilarious.
When these things blow out, they blow out. And I mean, there were pictures. You had gore dripping off of everything. And it was
and there were pictures in this article?
Oh, it's a video of it.
Oh.
So it's just crazy to sit there and it's like, that's just nasty. But the reaction of these people, totally different than it would have been with Americans. Who would have, a lot of them would have freaked out. We probably wouldn't have freaked out. We'd have been probably going, God, that's nasty. But we would have been standing there laughing. We would have been laughing. And since there were no injuries reported, and it also did not prevent the researchers from performing the necropsy. So that was good. And they said that the explosion unexpectedly occurred in the spinal area of the whale rather than the abdomen, which is where usually that would go. Mm-hmm. And it was later determined that the whale it was determined that most likely, is that a determination if it's a most likely?
I determined that most likely.
I mean, that's still speculation. Had been struck by a large shipping vessel which damaged and weakened the spinal area, which led to its death, which is why that's the area that blew out, because it was weakened.
That's very possible, but
yeah,
still funny nonetheless.
It's funny as hell. It is funny as hell, but the video is just amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, the link will be posted in the description box.
Okay, party.
Then we have one very, very recent, and this is from October the 20th of 2021.
This year?
This year.
Oh, wow.
And this was from the Science Times, and Marie Morales had written an article about it, and the title of the article is Bloody Explosion. Whale Carcass Explodes. Occurrence takes place on California coast. And this actually was amazing. And it says, off the California coast close to Morales Bay, a, quote, enormous bloated whale carcass, end quote, was spotted. And in a report, Rachel Funnell wrote what was discovered, quote, could explode at any moment, end quote. And it did.
Yeah.
And in today's world, someone caught the event with their cell phone.
Yes.
And you too can see the explosion in high definition from the comfort of your own couch.
Heck yeah.
And what was wonderful about that, in typical California style, it wasn't quite a dude, but there was a whole lot of the F-bombs. And
what the fuck?
Absolutely. That's exactly what, so I guess that's not just California that talks like that, but they just have their particular way of saying those things. Mm-hmm. So exploding whales, it's a thing.
That's hilarious.
Isn't it though?
I need to go look these up.
Yes.
As soon as I go back into my room.
Yes. A little bit of mirth, a little bit of something that's not as hardcore.
Yeah.
Something to piss. I mean, these animals were not murdered for any of the animal rights naturally. People. Right.
So, have y'all experienced like any sort of animal carcass exploding? Do y'all know about this?
I try to prevent that.
Do y'all know about these? Do you know anyone that has exploded personally?
I hope nobody has. If you know somebody that has exploded, it can happen to other beings. So.
Other beans, yeah.
Other beans. It's been such a long week. It's been such a long
beans
week.
can explode too.
Oh, well, that's true. That is true. So a little bit.
People have attempted to pop beans before and like popped corn.
Yeah, well, this is one of those 9-ounce cup of coffees today instead of our usual 20-ounce cups. It's a little bit shorter. So if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, exploding dead things.
Cute things. YouTube channel, classic YouTube channel, cute things exploding.
That was
hilarious.
Odd. It was odd.
Yeah. They had one featuring Justin Bieber, and I'm so glad that he exploded.
Anyhow, people used to have a sense of humor. What the hell happened?
Blame TikTok. Blame Tumblr and
it's planetary. It's planetary alignment.
Periodically time.
Just think we got about a year and a half more to go. Yeah.
Year and a half more before stuff gets back to normal.
Or somewhat semi. Normal is gone. What is normal? Everything changes day to day and minute to minute.
2006 humor.
I liked, it was cool then. 80s humor was great. 90s humor, the decade of Invader Zim and Rocco's Modern Life,
2000s.
Ren and Stimpy, Real Monsters. Get this
Invader
thing
Zim
off me.
was early 2000s.
Oh my God, Invader Zim! It
was a good show. Good show.
I birthed Dib and Gur. I can honestly say.
Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff.
I'm proud of you, girl. All right.
It's like I got to get me a shirt that says "Make America Goth Again." I really do.
Make America Zim again.
That would be too. I had tried to find a coffee cup. All I could find were the 9-ounce ones, but I want a 20-ounce one that has Zim lying on the ground in a little puddle, and it says "The stupid, it burns."
I want an Invader Zim blanket.
That'd be all right. So, anyhow, a little bit shorter cut today.
I want a Gur plush too.
That'd be all right. Yeah. That would be way cool. So, if you've got local, regional, family myths, legends,
cats that are climbing on everything,
cool, odd oddities.
A brat.
If you have specimens of things pickled in jars. We actually went locally to a sort of like antique-esque place in the local town that actually these folks came from Asheville, and they looked at me funny when I'm like, oh, if you ever come across, we collect oddities, so if you ever come across any samples in jars or anything, here's my name and number and call us. And they're like, uh-huh.
They have not done that since. They have not done that once.
We need more people.
If someone
like that.
has a slice of brain that they want to sell me, that will at least replace my one brain cell that's rattling around in here.
Anyhow,
maybe 2 more brain cells. But if any of you have a shrunken head, like a genuine shrunken head,
no, that is not coming in this house. That is somebody's face. I am
even if it's monkey or sloth, give it to me.
No.
Even if it's made out of monkey and sloth, give it to me. Mom's not a fan of the taxidermy, but I love taxidermy.
No, you don't. Don't invite trouble.
I'm going to invite a monkey head into my house.
Well, hell, you. Dad is. I was here first. Nope. Anyhow,
I live here.
Before we get in a full-blown fight on this, send us an email to cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Thank you all for sharing some dark humor with us today. Having coffee with us. Hopefully that didn't take away your appetite for your coffee. And
blubber.
Hey, I've drunk coffee through some nastiness before.
Yeah.
After the nastiness, after some soap, a little bit of bleach, go get me a cup of coffee.
You went to medical school, so y'all had to discuss this during lunch.
Sure, but also as being a corrections officer, also as being mental health counselor, it's all the same. So anyhow, you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Know that you are very loved, and we will see you all on the next cup. Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe. I almost forgot that there.
Don't forget that there.